Yo, what's up guys? Hope y'all having a great day. Thank you for watching. Today we're going to cover the RustConsole Edition bunker series that we're working on. Today we're going to do vending machine bunkers. If you're interested in checking out a base build with this first design, make sure to check out the link in the top right hand corner. It's a solo duo open core base with turret coverage. And yeah, it's actually a pretty easy base to build. There's nothing crazy about it. And it's cheap and strong considering what it is. Anyways, let's go ahead and check out the first bunker. Okay, one of the things about this bunker design is I like to have the foundies metal before I start doing anything, just because it's easier to place stuff down. These ones necessarily don't have to be metal, but the square and triangle do. It just makes it easier to place down the TC in the vending machine. Also, if you're gonna have with this bunker, you want it to be easy to get to the side right here, so nothing's impeding your movement. You don't really want a wall here or whatever. If you do have a wall here, you can change the placement of the TC, but it also makes it hard for you to put a door down. So you're gonna want to put a door down first, just in case. The TC does kind of block the door, but if something is gonna impede your movement over here, you might want to practice putting the TC down, so it's easier to get to. You might want to put it like closer to the door right here, so the vending machine still blocks it, but you can get access of it. But I wouldn't recommend that, having like a wall here or whatever. I like to kind of have a little bit of movement in my core anyway. So honestly, I would just do this footprint, or like maybe a 1x3 footprint for this bunker. But you know, you practice and you do you. But the way I like to do it is match up the TC with that first line of dots right there, and then scoot it over to the side opposite of the door, so that's the right side. Put a lock on it. With this bunker design, you always want to put a lock on it, just so you know, or else it's basically useless to even have the vending machine there. So this is how I'd start off the base. You know, obviously have walls around it, work out of here until I get the gears in the high qual. And then the way you put down the vending machine is just take like a gun or a lock or something, match your crosshair with this right here in the center of this foundation. Oh, and before you put down the vending machine, upgrade anything that you can't reach later. Like, you probably won't be able to reach this later or whatever, so make sure to upgrade that to high qual. So again, put your crosshair right in the center here, and just look forward and push the vending machine as far as you can go inside of here. That's what she said. And then slap it down, rotate it. And the thing about vending machines is they'll have like this rotate option. So all you have to do is just put something inside of it, so the option goes away. Not that big of a deal. And then boom, you can see the DC, no problem. And honestly, that door is not that big of a deal. So if you don't have an armored door or whatever, that door gets broken or you take it off later, it's not a big deal. Also, if you don't put the vending machine down straight for whatever reason, you can fix that really easily just by upgrading this. Then it takes up more room, so the TC, you know, basically make the vending machine do its job better. So honestly, you should probably upgrade that later down the road anyway, and so you can still reach the vending. Sometimes you have to rotate it if it takes up too much room. I've seen that happen before, but honestly, it's not that big of a deal. It seems to always work for me. Okay, so some things to remember here is you want this to be metal, like I was saying, also because it makes it easy to put in. But if somebody soft sides this, it's yeah, it'll break the vending. And also, like I was saying before, if you have something here that impedes your movement, it's really hard to even reach the door, low on the TC. So you might want to work on, if you are going to have this in like a straight shot kind of base, like a 2x2 or something like that, 1x2. You might want to practice putting the TC in a different spot. See, like it. Oh, I can't actually get the TC. Sometimes it's hard to get to the TC, so you might want to practice like your placement of the TC. See if it's easy, like with a wall here or whatever. Get the right placement. I guess why I put it was made it easy. Sometimes it's hard to reach, but also it depends how far back you can put this vending machine and stuff like that. So it's kind of finicky. So I wouldn't recommend actually using a base that has a wall here. I kind of like it where it's like a little bit more open to reach to your vending machine. But you know, you do you on that. I always think it's easier anyway. Plus, I usually use this area for like a workbench or something up at the bench on this side, and then I can get into here no problem. And there's still room for like, you know, for furnaces in here or whatever you need. So, and yeah, make sure you upgrade this, because They'll break your Vendy and you'll be sad. Okay, so the next bunker design uses the same kind of thing, except we're going to use a locker instead. And you can put this up after you put the locker down, but honestly, it doesn't really matter. If you know how to put the vending machine down, or the locker down properly, you can do it. It's not a big deal. So all you had to do, put the locker down, is wedge yourself in the corner, like look right in the center here. Depending on where the hammer might be easier for you, or like a gun. And boom, it'll turn blue. Just place it down. Make sure to lock it. Like I said, everything with these vending machines, so you need to lock it. And if you wanted, you could put a door here, but I wouldn't really worry about it for the locker. And then you do the same thing as you do with the TC. And you don't have to rotate this. You can have it any side that you want when you're putting it down. To access whatever's behind it, though, you do want to rotate it. And then, boom, you can easily reach it. And now, if people want to get in there, they're going to have to spend 3 C4 to break the Vendy, or 4 for the sheet metal, which most people aren't going to do that. And you can have a locker in there with a couple kits, or, you know, you can put other stuff in lockers too. So, for rockets, C4, stuff like that. So you can actually put a lot in a vending machine, or in a locker. It's kind of surprising. Plus, then you can also use the vending machines for storage. So honestly, this is a pretty good bunker. It's really versatile. You can use it for TCs, for the lockers. I've seen people use them for batteries, but honestly, I think the batteries kind of stupid, because no matter what, you're still gonna have to put like branches and stuff outside of the basically the bunker for the battery. People can just break that, so it kind of makes the bunker for the battery kind of useless. I just still just use a window for it. Makes it easier to get, you know, stuff in it. So, but that being said, this is still a pretty good bunker for a locker and whatnot. Usually I'll use this and I'll put a bed next to it, and then you can use like this for storage for like med and seal and stuff. And then behind here you have your locker and the bunker and a bed to quick spawn. So it's honestly, I really like this bunker design. It's pretty dope, and it's not very expensive. Okay, so the next bunker design is, I don't know, it's more of a loot room, but you can also use it for your core with the TC and whatnot. I actually was using this for a triangle shell base recently. I kind of like the idea. But this is like a pretty versatile little design. You can actually put this anywhere in your base, so you have like 3 triangles like this. So the way I've been doing it is, say you're going to use this as your core. You can put your TC on one side right here. You just don't want to put it too close on to where the vending machine is going to be. So I'd probably recommend, what I was doing is just 4 dots in, like that. So it's only coming into 4 dots of the next triangle. So it doesn't take up too much room, but it's also still easy for you to reach from outside. You'll see why here in a sec. Also, you can put a locker. You want to put a locker down like you already have a TC down somewhere else. Just make sure the locker's like, you know, somewhat really close, like that. 3 dots in is pretty good. And then on the other side, you can have boxes, or you can actually just have boxes on the other side, so you can have a total of 4 boxes in here. Or you can have 2 boxes, TC or locker or whatever. So it's pretty good. If you're going to put down the boxes in here, you kind of have to do it first. At least this top one first. Because it's kind of hard to do it without this extra triangle. And the way I do it is I just wedge myself into the corner here. And then push it all the way back. And you can break this. And I'm just going to use it for a TC right now. TC's probably the most common way, at least the way I've been using it. Sometimes you get that not enough room, even though it turns blue. I hate that. Picture game, guys. Alright, so make sure, you know, when you're using vending machines, you always gotta lock the stuff behind it, otherwise you might not even might as well not even have the vending machine. Like I said, we'll just put another box down here. Do the same thing, wedge yourself into the corner. Your crosshair in the center. Okay, so the way you put down the Vendy in this one is basically you want to aim into the center like normal. And then scoot the vending machine till it's just barely coming over to that line. And actually it's not even straight on, so it might be easier to do it from this corner right here. And scoot back. So you're like in the center. So you gotta do you know, work with this bunker a little bit. This one's a little bit more specific. But you want just to be coming over this first line on the foundation here. So it is easy to do everything in metal on this one so you can actually measure. But you know, if you want to use stone or whatever, you do you. Like I said though, I like sheet metal. It's easier to with foundations anyway, to kind of put everything down precisely and have repeatability with it. But go ahead and put your Vendy down. And I tried doing it. I couldn't expo ammo the stuff behind it, and even if you could, you can't loot it. So this makes it basically unlootable. And when you want to get to everything, you just rotate. You can usually reach everything. And then when you're going to log off for the day, you're going for a roam, you just rotate it back. And see, what's good about this kind of base, or this kind of bunker right here, is it's cheap to seal. So, you know, actually it costs nothing to seal. You just rotate it. It takes a couple seconds. So, and what I like about it is, it's like I'll be working out this bunker right here. You know, I got my boxes over here. I got the TC over here. You can even do this with like a locker, like I was saying, and boxes or whatever, or all boxes. So you do this, boom, 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 you put your stuff in there, and you're like, oh, I want to go roam, but I pissed off my neighbor earlier. So yeah, just in case they see me leave and they're gonna roam raid me, rotate it, and it's well protected. I mean, this is gonna be 3C4 to raid through the Vendy, or you know, whatever, you know, expo ammo or rockets or whatever. So if you high qual everything, people are gonna, and you have like a, for me, like I was doing it with a shell base. This is like the jump up, and I put a furnace right here. So like, you know, when I'd come in from the top of my base or whatever, because of the way my shell base is designed, I come in here, rotate this, drop my stuff on in here, and then you know, when I'm gonna go out or whatever, rotate it back the other way and go out. So if anyone wants to raid this, you're either gonna have to go through a bunch of high qual to get to the TC, or then you have to go through a bunch of doors. So it's honestly a really expensive raid, and it's pretty cheap, especially I mean, just high qual in this and having the Vendys right there is makes this a really expensive raid. Most people are not gonna fuck with it, and if you're a solo, it's kind of a hack there. I like it. Okay, so the last bunker I can think of with the Vendy, maybe I'll do another video later if I can think of more, because Vendys are pretty versatile, if you guys haven't noticed. It's like one of the most versatile items in the whole game. You can do all kinds of crazy stuff with them. But the next one is it's more for if you're selling stuff out of a drone, but you also can use it inside of your compound or on the top of your base to hide loot. But if you're going to use it to hide loot, honestly, if you're going to use this particular bunker in general, I'd recommend having external TCs. I'll show you why in a second. But you can do this with a square or a triangle. I'm just going to show you with the triangle for now. Actually, you don't even need this back triangle. You really only need this. But I'm going to show you with the triangle for now. If you can do it with the triangle, you can do it with a square. Oh, here, I'll show you. It's the same thing. You just find the center. Do the same thing on here. But I'm going to show you the triangle because it's harder to actually place it with the triangle. And what you want is all these sockets to be open except for the one that's on the bottom. That's really the one concern here. You can take your Vendy, and if it's a jump up, you might have to put a little bit of twig on the side so you can get to the center without falling off. But like I said, just find the center. And boom, there you go. You can't wedge yourself in here to access it. I mean, that's the whole point. I think later down the road with minis and stuff, people might be able to do it, but, or like I think even bicycles and stuff, if those ever come. But for now on console, we're safe. And when you want to access it, all you do is, if this is on top of a jump up, you're not going to be using a foundation, you'll be using the roof piece or whatever. Floor piece, whatever. And then boom, you can access it. You can, you know, set it up or whatever. And also, when you're using bunkers, like Vendy bunkers, unless you're selling out of it, make sure you turn them off, guys. That's kind of an important thing. You don't want people to know, like if you say you have a bunch of Vendy bunkers in your base, they're going to be popping up on the map. People are going to think you have tons of high quality gears. You don't want to do that, you're gonna get raided. So yeah, make sure you always turn these off. That being said, so this is the for if you want to sell it off your top of your roof, but you can also use these like for incognito like bunkers. I mean, if you high qual all of this, most people are not going to spend 8C4 to get into here, or even soft side this wall right here to get in. So it's actually a pretty strong bunker, and you can put this on top of your base. If people don't see it off rip, they might not even go up there if they raid you. And if you have external TCs, it'll stop them from taking over your main TC and just putting the twig behind it and opening it. So if you're going to use this, like I said, you don't want to have external TCs, because you only relying on one TC. Somebody can break that or get control of it, and then open up all your stuff. Oh, I got points. Isn't that cool? So yeah, honestly, this is a pretty good bunker, but like I said, you want to have multiple TCs so people can't just take control of your base and just open it up for free. They actually want them to work for it. If you're using this for like a Vending or whatever, or for sales, you might want to put something to stop people from getting into your compound or whatever, because somebody can just put a twig over it, and then you won't be able to make any more sales. So that kind of sucks. I don't know if you can put a siren light. One sec. I don't know if that'll block the socket. We're gonna see right here. I don't know why I crafted so many. I got a small brain, I guess. Oh, it just floats there. So yeah, if you don't want people to grief it where you're making sales, just put a couple of siren lights. But it did break when I broke that, so keep that in mind. But it will stop people from griefing you. And a siren light's only like, what, 75 metal to craft, or 150 or something like that. So yeah, but yeah, they'll stop people from griefing it. So that is kind of cool, I guess. But it's still, I just make sure people can't get inside your compound, or check, make sure people aren't doing that so you can't make your sales. That'd suck. Yeah, and that's as much as I can think of when it comes to the vending machine bunkers. I mean, there's probably some other stuff that you can use them for. So let me know down in the comments if you can think of anything. Yeah, but it's a pretty solid bunker. It's a pretty solid item. Honestly, I think the vending machine it's just kind of slept on. You can use it for so much. Not only you can use it for sales, but you can use it for bunkers. And it's pretty decent storage. They're a little expensive to craft, 20 high qual and a couple gears, but I think it's 3 gears. But yeah, pretty decent. Anyways, let me know down in the comments what you guys think. If you want to stay up to date with Rust content, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell, and I'll catch you all later. Deuces.